In this clip, we're going to go ahead and start merging our tree. So here I went ahead and pretty much polished out the whole thing, just like I did in the previous video. And now I'm ready to start combining these pieces together. So as you can see right now, I have a few intersections that just don't work. And this is right about the time where I make this entire tree one prop. So I'm going to go into my subtools here. And I'm going to select the main mesh. And I want to do it sort of piece by piece. So I'm going to start with these two branches over here. So I'm going to move this to the very top. I'm going to hold Alt and click on this one and move this one to the top. And that way I just know that they're together. And I'm just going to go ahead into merge, merge down and click OK. So that's perfect. Now let's go ahead into geometry, Dynamesh, and I'm just going to leave it at 2300. That worked for me before. And now they should be merged. If I solo it out, as you can see, it's all merged together. So what now I want to do is I want to make sure that the flow of the tree continues. So as you can see, this does not look like it's one cohesive mesh. So I'm going to grab the clay buildup here. I'm just going to go in and continue this line over here. And it's all about the lines. So whenever you're trying to merge things together, you just need to make sure that the lines flow from one prop to another one. And it will all look cohesive. So I'm going to grab here. In fact, I'm just going to hold Shift Control and just going to select this area right here, just so I don't have any other branches to be worried about at this point. And I'm going to select this area over here and just going to go in and add some more clay buildup. And I'm just holding Shift with the smooth peaks here. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some lines here and here. This looks pretty good, and just gonna move that. And that's where, you know, the alignment of your UVs kind of really helps. So if you had your pattern lined up pretty well, you wouldn't have as much work here. And if you have, you know, completely relevant lines everywhere at this point, then, you know, you would struggle merging these a little bit more. So I'm kind of in between here. I had a few lines lined up, a few lines didn't. And so I'm just trying to merge it as well as I can. So let's have a look. I'm going to hold Shift Control and click outside the mesh. And as you can see now, it looks pretty merged to me. So let's go ahead and actually merge this stump here as well. So I'm going to go in, select the stump, hold Alt and click on it. Move it to the very top again. Merge down. In fact, I'm going to select the tree here and move that to the top. Wherever you merge anything, you use the settings of the top mesh and you apply it to the bottom. So I want to keep my Dynamesh, so I'm going to merge it this way. Click OK. And let's hold Control and just Dynamesh it outside here. Perfect. So now I'm going to do the same thing. So as you can see here, I got two lines on this side and one line on this side. So I'm just going to go in and merge these together. Again, I'm just going to use the clay buildup here and just going to go here. And just going to do that here. And I'm not too worried about random lines like this because that actually looks pretty cool. So it kind of looks like, you know, one line splits into two. As long as the meshes connect, it makes perfect sense. I'm just going to go here. And this is kind of a challenging place here. I'm going to try and make it work. So I'm just going to move here. And again, just holding Shift with peak smooth. So I can just smooth the peaks and not touch the lines. Let's go back here. The more you combine the mesh, the sort of more complicated it gets. So I'm just going to isolate this area here so I can clearly see what I'm doing. I'm going to try and merge these together. I'm going to use the smooth valleys at this point. Just try and smooth that area here. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I try and get it as well as I can, just so it looks nice. And again, this is something, you know, if you're making a tree that is not very important in your scene and not like the centerpiece of everything, you know, a few lines that are not merged will not matter. It only matters if you're basically creating a centerpiece tree, a hero tree as you would call it. Perhaps you're making a tree with a tree house on top of it, or just a very important tree to a story. Then, you know, you want to make it as good as you can because you will notice these little imperfections. So I'm going to hold Shift Control, click outside, and it merged pretty well. I don't like that there's so many lines here. I'm going to actually go ahead and merge these two as well. So I'm going to go in and just do this here. That looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to go in with the H polish real quick and just do the same thing I did in the last tutorial and just polish these out, make them a little bit less smooth and more stylized looking. And I would do the same thing here. And I would do the same thing with the roots as well. But I think you get the idea. So this is it for this clip. In the next clip, we're going to go ahead and actually create a better looking stump here.